So, imagine yourself as a regular person with a 9 to 5 working hour kind of job and a decent payment. You think about your economic condition now is fulfilling and stable. Your future seems okay even if you don't consider yourself as one of the elites. But look, the brand new iPhone 11 Pro is finally out. It's literally your dream phone and you want it so much you even dream about it. Wait, hold on. You also have other needs you should be prioritizing, like food, your monthly bills, family stuffs, even your Netflix payments monthly. Well, that iPhone 11 must wait then. How ungrateful that is. But there are plenty of people struggling with this silently day by day in order to live purposefully. So, how can one balance their consumerism level with their economical background? Yes, the aforementioned topic may be one of the most crucial talk of the day, since the majority of people across the globe have mobile devices, estimated 5 billion people according to the Pew Research Center. So deeper examinations must be held to acknowledge the differences among them and how their economical background influence their consumerism level. So as a short summary of this how research will continue, all samples are asked regarding their lifestyle, social life, and connections to people, working days, and most importantly, daily income and expenditures. So, before we get deeper onto this topic, we need to know the background or the cause of this problem. In Indonesia, the social economic gap has long existed in the society, making it the least concerned priority of the country. Yet so in recent times, this gets worse due to the country experiencing inflation, either controlled or uncontrolled. Also not to mention the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic, which results in the slowdown economy. President Joko Widodo himself has a clear statement in 2017 that he was committed to focus on dealing with social economic gap, along with the malpractice of law. In Jakarta, 86% of the rukun warga or households falls to the category of slum, according to the BPS or in Indonesia, Badan Pusat Statistik. So on this particular topic, consumerism level is the main focus and the main theme. The rising of gadget purchases recently needs to be observed much deeper. The fact that people became so obsessed with electronic devices has never occurred ever in history until now. The sales of Apple's new game changer, the iPhone series, increased so rapidly in the course of 2 years starting in 2018. So, in the end, those aspects are the background of this particular social research. Maybe some of you are confused. What's the deal between economical background, consumerism level, and how they influence each other? So, there's this scientific research by Nauman Sheikh, a professor, and the article is titled Implementing Analytics. It is written in 2013. What he mentioned in that article is that there's a significant difference between people with different economical background and how they handle their needs. Right now, I will be explaining how I got the research location, research object, the research method and approach, and others. So, upon conducting this title, the research was taken place at St. John's Catholic School here in BSD Tangerang Selatan or South Tangerang, and then I've gathered samples that represents the object of this research. The samples I've gathered was the members of St. John's Catholic School BSD, the junior high school teachers, senior high school teachers, senior high staffs, and the 12th graders of St. John's Catholic School. As I mentioned earlier about the samples I've gathered, there are 102 12th graders, 33 St. John's senior high school teachers, 34 junior high school teachers, and last but not least, senior high staffs or solvers, as many as 11 persons. So, how do I collect the data and what's my technique? So when I collect the data from the field, which is, well, my school, questionnaires were mostly given to samples as the main technique. Yes, I give questionnaires. Later I will be explaining about how I distribute that and the results of that questionnaire and the type of questionnaire that I use. Anyway, the purpose of me using questionnaires were to find out the influences of economical background to gadget purchases, especially the one that I've been asking are students and teachers, not to mention staffs. So, a short summary of the samples I had taken from St. John. The majority of age on this research is under 18 years old, which is 35% of the samples. Meanwhile, the gender is equal between male and female. And then their occupation in St. John, the samples are 52% teachers from both senior high and junior high. Meanwhile, only 45% are students. Next one is their current status. 45% consider themselves as single. Meanwhile, 42% are married or have had a family. And then their time working in St. John, or how long have they been in St. John. The majority of samples, 39%, have been in St. John for 1 until 5 years. Meanwhile, 32% have been here for more than 10 years. 25% have been here for 6 until 10 years. And only 6% of the samples have been here for only under a year. So, let's go to the next question, which is the daily expenditure of each sample. Why did I ask daily expenditure? What does daily expenditure mean? Daily expenditure means how much does a person spend on a daily basis. So here on the picture, the majority is 64%. So 64% of the samples spend under 100,000 rupiah and 33% spend between 100,000 and 200,000. And as you can see, there are 0% of the samples that spends over 500,000 rupiah. So no one actually spends that much money on a day. The next number is number of acquaintances in the current group. We need to know this one because it's actually, number of friends or acquaintances actually influence your consumerism level. And as you can see, 42% have more than 10 acquaintances. That's many actually. And then let's go to the next number, which is the most valuable thing when with friends. So the majority of samples, 86% to be exact, choose quality time as the valuable thing when they are hanging out with their friends. But only 4% chose money. That is actually very influential to their consumerism level. Next one is the fourth question, which is their experience paying something beforehand. I asked this in Bahasa, have they ever patungan, if you understand. So only 68% have answered yes, they have experienced paying something beforehand, but there are 32% of the samples that hasn't experienced such situation. Next one is question number 5. Have they got any problem with situation number 4? And then 19 people say yes, 29 people says I haven't experienced such situation, but the majority of the answer, which is 52%, said no, they don't have any problem with the situation on number 4. The next number is question number 6. I asked them whether they are currently away from their family, and then the majority said no, they're not currently away from their family. 71% said that, and then 39% said yes, they are currently away from their family. The next question is number 7. It actually has something to do with question number 6. It has significant correlation, which is I asked them whether they still earn money from their family or not, and then 39% said no, 32% said yes sometimes, and then 29% said yes most of the time. Question number 8 is I asked them what's their most ideal material to purchase, and then 34% said culinary because it's food, everyone likes food, and then 29% said clothing and fashion, 25% said other materials such as daily needs, games and others, and then 12% said gadget. So this is where we are going, gadget purchases. And then And question number 9, I asked them what's their most important electronic devices. Yes, 50% of the samples, or half the samples, stated that they prefer personal gadget as their most important electronic devices. And 30% said working devices such as tab and laptops and etc. So for question number 10, I asked them how many gadgets they own. And then the majority of the answer, which is 39%, they stated that they have more than 2 gadgets. On question number 11, 71% of the samples answered the amount of gadgets they own. For example, one of the samples stated that they have 1 handphone, 1 laptop, and 2 smartwatches. Meanwhile, 29% of the samples stated their handphones brands. Most of the sample who are students have more Apple phones. Meanwhile, most teachers have Android phones. Let's go to the next question, which is question number 12. I asked them how long have they had their gadgets. So 68% stated that they have had their gadgets for 1 till 4 years. Meanwhile, 19% of the samples have had their gadgets for more than 4 years. That's not short time, 4 years, that's a very long time actually. So for question number 13, I asked them about their daily usage of gadget. So 45% stated that they spend 3 until 5 hours on a daily basis using gadget. And then 42% of the samples said that they spend more than 6 hours on playing their gadget. But unfortunately, there are 13% of the samples that use over than 9 hours of gadget. That's actually concerning because using your gadget for more than 9 hours actually will damage your eye or something. And then the next one, number 14, I asked them whether they consider themselves as someone who follows the current trend. The majority, 42%, said yes a few times. And then 29% said no, they never follow the current trend. So for question number 15, I asked them whether the previous question, which is question number 14, was it correlated to the amount of money they have? And then only 38% of the sample said yes to the answer before was correlated to the amount of money they have. Meanwhile, 63% said otherwise. The reason of them are varied from needs, work environmental requires more gadget, plus some said that they don't have any savings. That's actually sad. And then let's go to the next number, which is number 16. As you can see, it's divided into 2 charts, which is the yes and no. So the reason people said yes to buy trendy phones that, well, it's actually 50-50. Some said that it's actually a better economical condition. And then the other part said it's because trendy phones are more advanced. And then let's go to the next chart, which is the people that says no to buying trendy phones. The majority is divided into 2 parts. The 35% of the sample said that the old gadget is still in a good condition, and then 35% said that they need to save money. Meanwhile, 30% said that they need to prioritize their other needs. And then let's go to question number 17. I asked about their motives behind the increasing number of gadget purchases. So to sum it all up, 47%, or the majority, said that the main reason is because of the influence from the internet, the advanced internet I have mentioned earlier. And then 28% said that it's because of their diverse application, which attracts people and makes the purchases increase. And then let's go to the next number, which is number 18. Number 18 is that I asked them whether the more money people have, the more material they buy. And then 81%, or the majority, said yes. Only 19% said no. And then let's go to the second to last question. Here, as you can see, I asked them to rate their consumerism levels by themselves. I don't need to explain this further. So the conclusion is there are 28% of sample that said 6 out of 10 as their consumerism level. Well, that's a decent number. And then lastly, I asked them about whether economical background affects people's consumerism level. And as you can see, they all say yes.
Hi,
Hi there, did you enjoy the video? Well, so did I. So as a student, it's actually quite challenging for me to get involved in such a case where the whole society is facing. The samples I had taken from St. John's Catholic School were just a mere example of the whole epidemic. What I can say as the result of this research is that the more income people have, the higher consumerism level there is, which sums up the whole idea of this specific topic, gadget purchases. In St. John, most of the residents there have smartphones. Even the primary students, they have iPhones already. Therefore, this is what all of you should know. The number of sales will continue to increase, but the demands will not decrease anytime soon, and the economy will just grow bigger and better. But when will it be enough? When will all those trendy stuff will be enough? When will we cross the line? That's the point. And that's all for this video today. I hope you all are safe wherever you are regarding this currently happening COVID-19 pandemic. Stay at home, stay safe, fill your days with positivity, mask, and hand sanitizers. That's all. Bye now!